In April 1975, a country simply stopped existing. No war, no invasion anyone talked about. Just gone. It had its own king, its own flag, its own army for over 300 years. Then almost overnight, it became a footnote in someone else's history. This is Sikkim, a tiny kingdom tucked between Nepal, Tibet, and India, high in the Himalayas. For centuries, Sikkim was ruled by its own monarchy, the Chogyal, a line of Buddhist kings who governed with the mountains as their natural fortress. It had its own currency, its own postal stamps, even its own Olympic team. By every definition, Sikkim was a real sovereign nation, but Sikkim had a powerful neighbor. In 1950, India signed a treaty making itself responsible for Sikkim's defense and foreign affairs. It sounded like protection. In practice, it meant India's influence crept further into Sikkim's politics every year that followed. By the early 1970s, pro-democracy protests inside Sikkim, some organized, some encouraged from outside, began demanding an end to royal rule. In April 1975, Indian troops moved into the capital Gangtok and disarmed the King's Palace Guard without a formal declaration of war. Days later, a referendum was held. The official result, over 97% in favor of abolishing the monarchy and joining India. Critics called it rushed, one-sided, and held under military presence. A vote with only one realistic outcome. On May 16, 1975, Sikkim officially became India's 22nd state. The 300-year-old monarchy was dissolved in a single legislative session. The last Chogyal, Palden Thondup Namgyal, remained in the palace, stripped of power, watching his kingdom disappear from world maps. Within days, Sikkimese stamps, currency, and passports stopped being valid. An entire nation's identity was administratively erased. Most of the world barely reacted. Cold War politics meant few countries wanted to challenge India over a kingdom few people had heard of. It would take India itself nearly 3 decades to fully acknowledge how controversial the annexation really was. Sikkim isn't the only kingdom the modern world quietly erased, but it's one of the fastest. A 300-year nation, gone in under a month. If stories like this fascinate you, subscribe to Enigma. We uncover the histories the world forgot to talk about.